Welcome to Pivot Parenting, where we help parents of teens overcome regret and disappointment to find peace and connection in every situation. I'm Heather Frazier, your parenting expert. Journey with me to discover effective parenting tips, improve family relationships, and build a brighter future for your kids. Buckle up, things are about to get better. Hey, welcome to this episode of Pivot Parenting. I am so excited that you are here with me today. And I have been loving talking about my book. Today I was chatting with a young lady. She was maybe in her 20s, and I was telling her about my book. And she just said, "Oh my goodness, this is exactly what I need." Because I too, as a female in Christianity, have a lot of issues that I haven't been able to really chew through in a safe space. And it was so gratifying for both of us to meet somebody of like mind with similar struggles. And this is exactly what I address in my book. And just between you and I have let a few people read it early. And here is what my friend Kaylee said. She said, "It was a beautiful experience reading this book. I teared up reading the first page. So many roller coasters that accurately represent the storms that come from finding Jesus Christ. I identified with so much and can't wait to get my own copy." If you want your own copy, I have 6 fantastic bonuses that you get with just buying one copy, such as the handpicked soundtrack that I created for it, downloadable art that is original for the book, and membership into a private Facebook group where we can deconstruct and discuss all of the hard things that maybe you feel too self-conscious to discuss in Sunday school. It's a safe space. And so we can ask questions, we can talk. I'm going to be there hanging out with everybody. It's going to be fantastic. Go to heatherfrazier.com to pre-order your copy. And if you have a book club, let's get you a few more copies. Did you know that only 5 copies will get you a masterclass? It's going to be live, virtual, and we're going to interact. I'm going to teach deeper principles that I go over in the book. There's going to be Q&A. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm doing this after the book is published so that you can read the book and we can have a really deep discussion. There are VIP tickets. There's even packages with private coaching and me coming to your event in person. So check all of that out at heatherfrazier.com. And today we're going to be reading chapters 7 and 8 in my first book, How I Fixed My Teen. So here they are. Chapter 7. After months of trying, my friend finally gets through to me. As my best friend, you know that I'm not really extreme in any way. I like to eat healthy, but love chocolate. I like to work out, but not kill myself doing so. Being outdoors is fun, but can we sleep in a nice hotel with good food? I like many things, obsessed with not so many. When the day came that I became obsessed with something, my life trajectory changed. It was a nice morning. I'd gone for a walk with my neighbor and dear friend. I was complaining about Lark, crying a hot mess because of her attitude towards me, the rest of the family, and basically everything. I really did believe that I sucked so hard and had failed. It crushed my soul. All I ever wanted was to be a good mother. I wanted a family filled with love and happiness and a good time. I had devoted myself to trying for the last 10 years plus, but I didn't have any of it. This was during the previously mentioned era, too wounded to write down. Lark was around 14, 15 years old and in full making mom cry because it was fun mode. See how I made her behavior about me? I would always go to my room or closet and cry. I hid it from her, my husband, and other kids. I was so ashamed that I had failed so badly. I was heartbroken that she hated me and saw my imperfections so well. I had no idea how things had gone down the toilet so quickly and unexpectedly. I loved being a mom and had always felt like I slayed until recent years. I was so confused. My friend had been telling me for months about this woman she idolized, talking about feelings and how we can think differently about people and situations and feel better. Sounded off to me, but she kept telling me about this Jody Moore lady. After at least 6 months of thinking my friend was being taught self-gaslighting, I finally told her that I don't even know what a podcast is, very exhaustedly out in our street. She rolled her eyes in the most loving way and said, "Give me your phone," with heartfelt tenderness and exasperation. So I did. She found the app, showed me Jody's podcast, and said, "Listen to this." I did. I couldn't get enough of it. I went down the rabbit hole hard and fast. The emotional intelligence Jody taught me was life-changing. I remember her telling me, because it was just her talking to me as best friends, "You are not a bad mother." I don't know what episode it was or anything else about what she said. That is all that I heard. And I sobbed. My heart burst open, and I knew that she was right. I hadn't messed up my kid beyond repair. It wasn't too late. I was a good mom. That was the moment my life as a mother changed for the better. You are a good parent, my friend. You are, plain and simple. It doesn't mean that either of us are perfect, yet we're both good. You parent better when you feel this to your core of who you are. I know that I did. This is another step in fixing your teen. Step 6 is to own that you're a good parent. Own it when you mess up. Own it when you get it right. This was the secret sauce that dried my "I failed and I sucked and we're all screwed" tears up. When you embrace the truth of it, it will dry yours too. As your bestie, I feel obligated to tell you that it was an uphill climb to reverse my bad habits and take ownership of what I'd been blaming Lark for. That's the process. It's emotionally taxing and freeing. Counterintuitive and yet familiar in the best of ways. It is gut-wrenching and soul-soothing. It stretches you and pulls you and can make you into a better version of yourself than you thought you could be. It's horrible and beautiful to fully see yourself. It's the very best of contradictions that I love. And it's all so right. It also looks slightly different for each of us. Are you willing to really look at yourself? What do you think you'll see? Does that scare you? Give you hope? Are you open to considering that you're a great parent? Why? Why not? What might be holding you back from accepting yourself? What would need to change for you to believe that you're a good parent? And is that within your control? Why do you think that that would make you better than you are? What scares you most about owning your invaluable worth? Gaining emotional intelligence isn't like getting a degree or taking that vacation. It's not a one and done. It's a lifelong thing. Having the big picture in mind helps to know the cadence of the process. It isn't linear either. For some reason, humans like to think of everything as a set of stairs. Move up each time and eventually get to the top. This is individual. We can only do this for ourselves. Our kid can choose to hate us for our mistakes. They have to want to heal. Again, differentiation. They get to be angry or hurt for as long as they want, just like you. We can only do our own growing up. I'm so blessed that Lark still loves me and being with our family. I fully appreciate that this is her choice. Yes, I have put in the work. I am very transparent in owning my part of the wounds. This is me owning my effect. She's also owned her effect on me. We've cried and held each other countless times. Her heart is wonderful and forgiving, and I don't take that for granted. Let your kids work through it when and how they will. Love them as they are. We can't force them to feel how we want towards us. This can be hard, but it's the emotionally intelligent thing to do. Leveling up looks different for each of us. Patience is the thing. The grass isn't greener, you just move up in lessons. That's the definition of a good parent, one that's trying. Yes, leveling up means it gets harder, but you're stronger and know what to expect. This helps, but we can still have lessons to learn that we don't enjoy. Discomfort doesn't have to be a problem, it's the process when done right. Let your family see your efforts. You don't have to become obsessed like I was, just ready to make a few changes here and there. Let them see you trying to evolve. This is where all of the previous steps are really good to practice. Showing them the process is great if they want to follow and helps them see that you're trying. This is often the biggest piece of healing for them, that their parents care enough to examine themselves and change. That is pure love in action. But before we level up, let's look back on a day that I hadn't quite gotten there. Hi there. I just want to pause and let you know if you are struggling to make sense of your teen's behaviors, emotions are running wild, and you're looking to turn things around to have the family you dreamed of while rocking them to sleep, I would love to talk to you. I want to give you a special, powerful gift. 30 minutes with me, my friend. You'll walk away with more confidence, clarity, and understanding of what the issue is and your next best step in resolving any situation you bring to me. It's completely free. I love families and want to help yours be wildly happy and successful. Book this call by visiting my website, heatherfraser.com. Remember, Fraser is spelled with a Z-I in the middle. And don't worry, the link is also in the show notes. I look forward to meeting and helping you. Chapter 8, the time I ran out of church crying because of her. Can we please just acknowledge that there actually are people who can really kill with a look? Lark was around 16 when she killed me dead in front of what felt like our entire congregation. We were sitting on the 4th row in the chapel, Lark next to me, grumpy to be there as usual. No big, that's how we rolled. I didn't love it, but counted it as a win that she was there. All was quiet as we listened to the person at the pulpit. I could feel the ice cold she was giving off, cutting to my very core. Couldn't she see how hard I was trying to be a good mom? It felt like the more I tried, the more she hated me. I loved her so much, so badly wanted her to be happy and know how important she was. She wanted to leave no space for misinterpretation of her anger towards me. Seething hatred, she turned directly to me, our faces inches apart, and our eyes met with her death stare that froze my blood. Cold eyes, anger, and hatred. I can't really describe them better than hate-filled daggers to my heart. Her body was stiff, and she had already rebuffed all affection I had tried to offer. Usually during church, I will rub the person next to me's hands with lotion, rub their back, just be affectionate, and because I can't sit still. She didn't let me touch her that morning, which was unusual. She typically loved my physical affection, and then her icy look killed me. Even though some have mocked my tears, I can't hide my emotions. I crumpled. I've never been treated with such loathing from anyone so close to me, and I died right there. 4th row from the front. I burst into tears, ran out of the building, drove home, lay in bed, and sobbed. This was perhaps the lowest point I've ever had as a mother. I hated myself and who my previously beautiful, adoring sunshine princess now was. Of course, I made it all about me, how she was so awful to me, how I was unappreciated and mistreated, how I'd failed at my one task of being a good mom. The multiple texts from my husband and friends who had seen my hot mess departure helped me even more to bask in the misery that is having a child who hates you. Why did she behave so intentionally cruelly? What had I done so wrong to deserve her wrath? How could she not see that I had given my whole freaking life to her? Oh, she'd just say that she didn't ask to be born, and that was on me. One of her remarks I still remember. She didn't appreciate anything I had done for her, especially when I asked so little in return. I am such a freaking good mom, and she refuses to see it. She's so entitled and privileged and doesn't even see it. Why does she have to be so cruel to me? All I want to do is love her. She delights in rejecting and hurting me. She's for sure gloating right now. Why am I the only one she is cruel to? Why can't she be like she used to be? She knows what a tender heart I have and doesn't care. How can she not see that she's damaging me, causing me harm, breaking my heart? Oh, she sees and is happy about it. All I wanted was her happiness and success. I didn't care about me. I just wanted her, all about her, to be happy and feel my love. She clearly didn't want it, and she didn't want me. She didn't want anything to do with me, and that was nothing new. She hated me. Therefore, I hated me. She was my world, and I was terrible to her. She must be right. I wanted to disappear. That could be my parting gift to her. I'd even cease to exist to please her, just like the freaking Giving Tree book. Not a good book for an example of a healthy relationship. It should only be seen as a cautionary tale of what not to do. This was all running through my mind as I wept. I don't remember what anyone in the family said or did when they got home after church. Forever, I will only remember the feeling of my heart being broken so violently by her death look. Do you know this place of bleak darkness? Perhaps you've had a few of those thoughts before as well. If so, I love you and I clearly get it. It sucks to be in this place, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Bestie, if you're in that place now or find yourself there at some point, I feel obligated to help you understand what was really going on for me and how I got out of the dark, lonely pit of despair and self-loathing. You need step 7, understanding the difference between victim and villain. I was the loving, sweet victim of my villainous daughter. She was doing everything at me. She was trying to harm me, or so that's how I viewed the situation. Of course, I loved her so dearly, so painting her in a bad light also felt terrible. Only a troll describes her daughter as cruel. I felt terrible sharing all of this with you, knowing that she'll read it, that friends and family might as well, and that they might think less of my wonderful daughter whom I adore because of it. It's a tricky place having wounds and trying to get help, not wanting to be isolated in your suffering, but also not wanting to throw your baby under the bus. The only reason why I'm sharing my darkest moments and both of our worst behavior is because I love you. I want you to know that I get it. I get how badly it hurts when your baby turns on you and how you don't feel like you can tell anyone because it feels like you're betraying them. Thinking your silence is a protection for them, but resenting them all the while. Would other people not love them like you do if they knew everything? It's a real possibility. I love my Lark, and I love your Lark. Growing up is hard. Most parents and teens don't understand all of the changes that they're going through. And sometimes things are not where they're supposed to be developmentally. Did you know that adolescent girls become extremely prickly, aggressive, and unkind as a sign of depression? They don't get blue, they get mean. I had no idea. I never thought to think about her mental health. I was so wrapped up in my own pain, it was the poor me show. Of course, I thought it was all about her. I thought everything I did was for my kids, but my pity party was all for me at the expense of myself, Lark, and my family. If you're seeing yourself doing the same thing, please don't be mean to yourself. This is just how we're hardwired and how we're socialized to think. I could have vented to my sisters, hairdresser friends, and Facebook, and they all would have said the same thing. She's so ungrateful, and you're so wonderful. She needs to recognize. I know this because I have clients who vent, and that's the feedback they get from these outside sources. But now that you have a best friend who's a coach, and I love you too much to support that kind of unhelpful tale, did you know that a part of your brain's only job is to scan for danger? So when your daughter is giving you death stares, it sets the warning sirens off. The difficult part of this is that when you see your child as dangerous, you parent from that place. I generally avoided her because she so often hurt my feelings. I feared her wrath, and therefore I wasn't my most honest and best self. In short, walking on eggshells, fearing her rejection, made me less of a mother to her, which made me feel like a failure. Also, it certainly didn't win her affection or respect and destroyed mine towards both of us. It's a vicious cycle that I couldn't see, but was still spinning in. Sometimes the sirens are appropriate, like if there's a real danger of harm. For me, this wasn't the case. Seeing Lark as a live-in perpetrator was harmful for us both. I'm not saying that I love her stink eye. Yes, she is still a master at it, although it's never packed such a punch since. I'm saying that it's not a problem for our kids to give us crap and for us to not be a fan. What if that's all we made it? What if we even saw it as a red flag for them instead of for us? Because that's the actual truth. Let me show you what that would have looked like in this situation. Sitting on the 4th row of the chapel all those years ago. Lark is distant, disdaining, and clearly upset with me in church. She's rebuffing every loving attempt I make toward her. I wonder why. What could be hard for her right now? What would be so intense that she would treat her amazing mother with such contempt? Let me think about the context to understand and help her better. Ooh, she just gave me a look that could wither an entire rainforest. Ouch! She must really be in pain to lash out like that. How can I best support her in this moment and offer help to her? I need to better understand what's going on so that I can fully love and support her in her obvious pain. Okay, can you see the difference between what I actually did and how making it about her differs? One is in full victim mode, and the other is neither victim or a villain. It's not getting back at her, controlling her, or silencing her, just understanding and supporting with love and curiosity. I promise you, the nastiest behavior that your teen does, even when they shout they hate you, is not about you. You don't have to assume the role of poor me. This is a really pivotal piece of fixing your teen because they don't need a parent who hides and cowers in their presence. They also don't need a parent who fights fire with fire. Some parents refuse to be a victim and lash out in an attempt to be stronger, louder, more powerful than their teen, whom they perceive as attempting to harm them. Both responses are the parents not wanting to be a victim to their kids. We want to be a mentor, protector, and loving parent. This means you need to let go of feeling badly at the hands of your teen. How does one do this, you ask? Great question, my friend. You own that you're imperfect, and that's okay. You love yourself as is. You love your teen as is. You try your best. Know that you're bound to both fail and succeed, and that is the process. You let your kid have their feelings and don't think you have to solve them. You can't. You love your kid enough to be honest with everyone involved. I was lying to myself that her mood was my fault and that it was my problem to fix. I was lying to myself that I'd failed and she was trying to punish me. I couldn't fix her despite my best efforts, and trust me, I tried. I wasn't being honest with either of us when I believed that it was all because of her and that she needed to change for us both to be happy again. Did you know that? They don't have to change for you to have a good relationship and be happy. You just have to drop the villain versus victim dynamic. Oddly enough, if I were to go back and ask Lark who the bad guy was, she would say I was. It's really common for us to point our fingers at each other as the villain, and we're the victim. To her, I was the mean person who was strong-arming her into going to church and doing other things she didn't want to. I was her villain. Our teens often want us to be the villain because then it's on us to change. There isn't anything for them to fix or improve. It's our fault. And this is also what we do to them. It's certainly how I viewed Lark. Look around and you'll see humans doing this all over the place to each other. Reality TV, family drama, and our kids' friend drama are really great places to spot it. It's easy to point fingers, but harder to look in the mirror and be honest about what we're doing to contribute. Update. As I've mentioned, Lark has read this book. She remembers this fateful Sunday where I ran out crying. She felt awful in that moment and again when she read what I wrote. This is fascinating to me because I was so convinced that it was probably her finest moment of triumph over me. It wasn't. I only saw her as a source of my pain. I was objectifying her, making her void of softer human emotions. This is really common when we're trying to paint someone as a villain. Rarely do we feel the shoes of villains to ourselves because we understand our full breadth of emotions around the experience. No way could we be the bad guy. We're justified, right? But them, we subconsciously tell ourselves that they're acting badly towards us and they deserve our wrath. Yet, this is what others are doing as well. They are the victim and we are their villain. So we have families running around, all pointing fingers at each other, claiming that other kids and parents are the villain harming them, but not seeing their own behaviors clearly. Boundaries and unconditional love are what make getting rid of the villain versus victim dynamic possible. This is an easy one when you've figured out steps 1 through 6. They're not hurting you, they're just being them. They're not the villain, and you're not their victim. Just like you're not the villain to their victimhood. Some of my favorite boundaries that I set for myself have been that I try not to react, but act. This means I parent from calm and remove myself from the situation until that's accessible for me. Then I'm never objectifying my kid as the villain. I also consider their perspective and how their behavior makes perfect sense to them, rather than how I could choose to make it reflect poorly on me. Their behavior is always because of what they're dealing with. Focus on that. You'll be right where they need you most. So, let's talk about when you think it's all figured out and you're good to go. Because that deceptive day comes for all of us a few times.